Hello again, everybody. This is Mike at Keto Journey. I got tagged by YC Cooks and Bakes and to do a tag video of 10 weird things about me. Got my laptop here, and so I can read the notes. So stick around, and I'm gonna just let you know all kind of weird things about me. And it was hard to limit it to 10. So stick around. So first off, I want to thank YC over at YC Cooks and Bakes for tagging me in this video. And it was hard to come up with just 10 because I've got some peculiarities, I'm sure. And that's just the ones I know about. And if you ask other folks, I'm sure I got plenty more. So, and I'll be trying to tag somebody at the end of this as well, but only if they want to do it. So, number one thing, condiments must be spread to the end of the bread. Now, when I'm talking about condiments, I'm talking about your mustard, your ketchup, your mayo, that kind of stuff. If you're making a sandwich and you're using whatever condiment it may be, it has to be spread all the way to the edge of the bread, not overflowing the bread, just to the edge. And it has to be a decent amount of each, so that when I put the sandwich together, the little condiments just kind of ooze out, and then I get to lick the sides because I love that. I know it's gross, but it's fun. Now, you're going to see a pattern with this. Most of my peculiarities are going to be sort of centered around food. On hot dogs, I do not put any other condiments but mustard. And it will not be honey mustard. For some reason, honey and mustard just does not go together with me. But as far as if it's just a hot dog, I want just mustard on it. Now, I'll eat a chili dog. I'll eat a slaw dog. I'll eat it with sauerkraut on it. But as far as the condiment itself, the mayonnaise, the mustard, or the ketchup, it's going to be strictly mustard on a hot dog. Now, I sleep without moving much at all. I just don't move much. And I may turn over once or twice during the night, and that's about it. And I can get out of a bed and it looks like nobody slept in it. Even when I just pull the cover back like that, it looks like somebody just pulled the cover back, so that when I pull it back off of me, it looks like somebody just pulled the cover back and they were ready to get into the bed to go to bed, just so they could turn the bed, like turning the bed down for you. Now, the next thing about bed is I have to make my bed every day. And I have done that all of my life. It is something I get up, and as soon as I'm out of the bed, it's made, period. Unless my wife is still laying in it or something like that. But I have to make the bed. I cannot go without it. It would drive me nuts all day long to have an unmade bed, knowing in my head that I did not make my bed. That way, when you come home, even if you never accomplished anything else during the day, you accomplished that one thing. You made your bed. I forget, there was an admiral or somebody that gave a nice speech at a graduation commencement. It was wonderful, and he talked about this, and this sums up why I do it every day. But it wasn't that I did it because of him. I was doing this before he ever made that speech. And my father was in the military, and it was instilled upon me to make your bed. And I do it every day. I have to make that bed. It will drive me nuts if I don't. And let's look at it this way. Worst comes to worst, you get to come home to a made bed. I hate wearing a coat. This is number 5. Oh, that's 5. Yeah, 5. We're on 5. I hate to wear a coat. I would rather wear just a hoodie. And if I've got to wear a t-shirt under it or long johns, whatever the case may be, if it's cold, ever how cold it is, I cannot stand wearing a coat. If I wear a coat, you know I am very cold, and it was very cold outside. I just don't like it. So number 6, I cannot leave a drawer on a chest of drawers, or as we call it in the South, Chester drawers, or cabinet or dresser. I can't leave it partially open. It has to be shut all the way, and nothing can be sticking out. You can't have just the tiniest piece of a sock or whatever sticking out. It just cannot do it. If it's a towel drawer for kitchen towels, I've got to open it and fix it so it can't be sticking out. So that's number 6. Number 7. 7. A sandwich has to be built perfectly for me. The bread cannot be cockeyed in any way, and there is a proper side of the bread to mate with the other bread that makes a sandwich. They meet perfectly because of the way they were sliced and they were in the loaf. So each piece of bread in the loaf has a mate. The 2 end pieces will mate. They mate with each other. I don't mind having an end piece sandwich, but it has to match up perfectly. They cannot be kind of askew even the slightest bit. They've got to be perfectly aligned. If they're askew just a little bit, that drives me nuts. I got to fix it. And so when I get a sandwich at a restaurant and it doesn't come out, I have to rebuild that sandwich. If I get a hamburger at a restaurant, I have to rebuild that hamburger. So it has to be perfect. So that match, you have to line it up just right so that it's the way it was meeting in the loaf, so that they match perfectly. If a sandwich is sliced, it has to be sliced in a certain way, and there's a proper way. For me, as far as I'm concerned, it's the only way to slice a sandwich. I have seen people slice it where they go straight across the middle of the bread, like this. You got your sandwich, it's sitting here like this, ready to pick up and eat, and they'll go across like that in the middle. No. Or I'll see them come straight down the middle that way. Nope, not the right way for me. It's got to go at a diagonal. Now, it can be a diagonal like that or a diagonal like that, but it's got to be a diagonal. So I'll eat the sandwich the other way, but it's not going to be a sandwich that I'm enjoying as far as the aesthetics of it. Now, and yes, I rarely have somebody else make me a sandwich because I know I'm very particular, so I make it myself. Alrighty. Number 9. In early adulthood, I developed an allergy to processed strawberries and sweet potatoes. And it's any sweet potato, not the processed, but the processed strawberries. When I say processed, where a fresh strawberry didn't bother me, or a fresh frozen strawberry where they just took it and froze it, that didn't bother me. But if they did something with the chemicals in there or whatever like that, put chemicals in it, it would break me out in hives. And a sweet potato would put me in the emergency room. But I ate them all the time as a kid. Didn't bother me a bit. But for some reason at adulthood, I became allergic to it. Now, in 2010, I had my gallbladder taken out. And since that time, I have no allergy to either of those two things. None. I don't know why. I know several other people who had allergies for certain foods, and they don't have them anymore after having their gallbladder out. Matter of fact, they were the ones that said you need to try the foods you were allergic to see if you're still allergic. I wasn't. Now, it may not be that way for you. I don't know. So if you try it and you still have a reaction, don't blame Mike, because I'm just telling you it wasn't for me. Now, number 10. When I hear about something that I don't know about, I have to research it to learn as much as I can about it. Now, I'm not talking about news reports. No, I hate the news. I don't even want to watch it, listen to it, hear it, nothing. I just don't want to be anywhere around the news. They're telling me what to think instead of just telling me the news. And it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't need to hear spin. And I'll just figure out what's going on all on my own. And I'll figure out what to think about it all on my own. I don't need somebody to do it. If you just report the news, I'm good. But I don't watch it because I don't know of a single station or network that just reports the news. And I don't want to hear none of that. I want to make up my own mind and decide what I think about it. But most of the news out there is depressing. I don't watch weather reports because, let's face it, they're weather people, the meteorologists, they're guessing at best. Now, it's an educated guess, I guess you could say, but it's still a guess. Now, here in the South where I live, shoot, in the summertime, anybody on the planet could be a weatherman because it's going to be hot, humid, and a chance of thunderstorms. You can repeat that all summer long and you got the summer forecast in the South. Now, when it comes to winter and there's an approaching storm, a winter storm coming, they are going to scare the ever-loving daylights out of you as much as possible by telling you how it's going to be snowmageddon. You are not going to be able to get anything to eat, drink, or otherwise. So you best be ready. Well, more times than not, especially here in the South, they get it so wrong. We don't get anything like what it was, and all it did was cause a panic amongst people. There's panic buying at the stores, and schools are shutting down and so forth like that. While we're on the subject, now, I know folks up north that make fun of us here in the South because we get 1 inch of snow and we close a school. Because, well, the facts are we don't have the equipment to deal with it. And so we have to close the school for purposes of safety because we don't have enough snow plows to go out and plow the roads and the streets and all like that to get to everybody. It would not be cost effective to us to get those things. Now, I would point out to those of you who say, y'all, I can't believe you closed down for that. I've heard about y'all closing down when the temperature got up to 90 somewhere in the north and the schools shut down because it was so hot. I get why you did it because school probably doesn't have air conditioning because y'all spent your money on other things because you don't get enough hot weather to be able to do it, to deal with it, and weren't having it. I feel like I got something on my nose. I apologize. It just feels like there's something there. But I get it. So when you start making fun of us about having to shut the schools down for 1 inch of snow, just remember you closed with 90 degrees. You know what we call 90 degrees down here weather? Thursday. So, or Wednesday. Hell, it's any day of the week in the summer. Plus more. Because there's been a lot. We hit 3 digits down here a lot in temperature. And there's high 2-digit numbers for humidity. So, yeah, we get it. But so that's the way it is. So I don't trust the weather people because they're guessing at best. And the way I figure out what the weather's doing is I just look out the window and see what it's doing. Now, my wife, she is a news junkie. She is a weather junkie, and she has got more weather apps on her phone than you can shake a stick at. She'll say, I'm going to watch the weather, and then I'll be in bed. I'll come to bed. Okay. Right. I say, watch this. I say, Alexa, what's the weather going to be tomorrow? Alexa will tell me at least a ballpark figure. It's going to be chance of rain. Temperature is going to be X amount of degrees, I found out what the weather is right there, at least a ballpark that I know is going to be reasonably accurate. And it was from an artificial intelligence, not a human being. So, yeah, I got some peculiarities. I know it. But I think that's why my wife loves me, because of my peculiarities. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you watching. I hope I didn't scare the bejesus out of you over my peculiarities. You did see a lot of food things related to food. Probably 4 or 5 in here were related to food. And I still feel like I got something on my nose. And I'm sorry for rubbing my nose, but it's a weird feeling when you feel like something's on your nose. So, and now I'm going to tag my buddy Matt Troise over at MatTroise Keto and Wrestling. And Matt, if you want to do this, great. If you don't, hey, I understand, no troubles. But I'd love to see what you have to say. So in the meantime, this is Mike at Ketorific Journey saying, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. It does me a lot of good. And if you really enjoyed it and you want to see more of it, hit the subscription button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know when it's going to happen, hit that little bell and it'll tell you when my next ones when my next video comes out. So in the meantime, I'll say farewell to you for now, and don't forget, let's be careful out there. First, I want to thank YC over at YC Books and Bakes for tagging me in this. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I enjoyed your tag video, and I've got somebody that I'll try to tag at the end of it as well. Okay, the first weird thing about me is when I make a sandwich, the condiments like the mayo or the ketchup or the mustard, whatever the case may be, it has to be spread completely to the edge of the bread. All the way to the edge. Somebody dared to walk down the street. Oh, I hear a backup. It must be Amazon. Nope. It's the school bus. Never mind. Okay. Y'all done now? Take 2.